Hello and welcome to the 2021 Chair Affair. My name is Sarita Martin and I am host of Safe Space on WURD Radio. I'm thrilled to be joining you on behalf of Pathways to Housing PA as your MC for the next hour. We are here today to learn about and provide support for the Philadelphia Furniture Bank, a vital resource that furnishes nearly 1,000 households each year. While you follow along with today's event, please be sure to check out the silent auction and the many amazing furniture items created by local artists, especially for today. A link to the silent auction is available in the chat box. To get us started, I'm pleased to introduce Ira Richards, who is board chair for Pathways to Housing PA. Welcome, Ira.
Welcome and thank you all for attending today's event. We're excited to share with you some updates on the Philadelphia Furniture Bank and how we've managed to continue to furnish homes throughout the pandemic. You will hear from our amazing and dedicated staff who work tirelessly to ensure that everyone has a place to store their treasured belongings, a table where they can share a meal, and a brand new bed to sleep in every night. You'll also hear directly from those who have received furniture from the Philadelphia Furniture Bank and how it's impacted their lives. Earlier this year, our guest curator, Damon Reeves from the Philadelphia Museum of Art, helped us to select 19 local artists to participate in this year's event. Each artist received a stipend to create an original piece for our silent auction, and many chose to select a piece of furniture from the Philadelphia Furniture Bank to turn into a work of art. Those items were exhibited earlier this month at the Cherry Street Pier, where thousands had the opportunity to view and bid on the custom pieces of art to support the Philadelphia Furniture Bank. You can view those pieces and place your bids at the link provided in the chat box. The auction will remain open until 8 p.m. this evening. I want to personally thank all of our artists for helping to make this year's event a success. Andrea Kudsmas from Glenna Stone, Benjamin Howard, Christian Rodriguez, Davey Levson, Emily Taylor Rogers, Heather Charles, Jerry Puryear, Caitlin Stoller, Laura Ann Calusi, Laura Lynn Stern, Lauren Lord, Lauren Alice, Lisa Kelly, Nicole Barrick, Rashida Salam, Sam Heimer, Sarah Jane Timmons, and Tiff Urquhart. We recently hosted a meet and greet at the Cherry Street Pier so folks could view the furniture in person and meet some of our artists. We were lucky to be able to speak with a few of the artists in person about their experience to share with you all today.
The first year when I got involved, it was my honor to think of people who have been displaced.
I think that without housing, it's really hard to get any sort of stability in your life.
I like to use my art to, impact communities and, build communities through it.
I like that there's artists from all different age groups and all different backgrounds participating in this show.
I initially found out about Pathways to Housing and the Chair Affair at the time it was an in-person auction, from another artist who's been involved for the last few years, Lauren Alice. And I thought it was an amazing opportunity to help give back to the community.
My piece is the Kensington Cabinet. It's a diorama of a street scene from the Somerset LSAP, which is right by where I live, what I consider my home, what many people consider to be their home.
I have a friend named Casey, and she died last May of an overdose, and she had housing through Pathways. I chose to do a Luna moth because Luna moths represent rebirth and regeneration. My piece is a tribute to Casey.
We're only as great as our weakest neighborhood, and Kensington could use some help. And just homeless people in general in this city could use help.
Just daily seeing people who are homeless and people who are in need, and just how Philadelphia as a city is failing people. I just want to be able to give back in some capacity.
We have these gifts and there's open gaps that need to be filled in. And if you have the power to fill it in, it's your responsibility to fill in that gap. So we are connected.
Having a home is a human right, and that's what this organization does, Pathways to Housing.
It's I think a really great organization and an awareness to help others, and it's always a good challenge to do something like this and put yourself out there and your talents out there for good cause.
I'm happy to have an opportunity to thank our technology sponsor, Message Agency, for helping to make the online portion of our auction possible. Now back to you, Ira.
As chair of our board of directors, I have the pleasure of serving alongside 18 fellow board members to support the amazing work done by Pathways to Housing PA and the Philadelphia Furniture Bank. I couldn't be more proud to be part of our mission to provide homes, restore health, and reclaim lives, and I know my fellow board members will join me in thanking you for being a part of the chair affair. I hope you enjoy the event, and don't forget to place your bets.
Thank you, Ira. The pieces created by this year's artists are truly amazing, and Pathways is so grateful to the Cherry Street Pier for hosting the opportunity for folks to visit the pieces in person ahead of today's event. One of the benefits of hosting this event virtually is the opportunity to show you the work at the Philadelphia Furniture Bank rather than tell you about it. PFB staff are here to describe what a typical day in the life of the Philadelphia Furniture Bank looks like and how their work supports thousands of individuals and children exiting homelessness each year.
The Furniture Bank is a solution to a problem. The problem was that folks were getting placed from homelessness into housing, and agencies that were assisting people were having a hard time efficiently and effectively and inexpensively providing furniture for those folks. Folks had no option except for living on the floor in their apartments. So the CEO of Pathways, Christine Cimariglia, took it upon herself to start planning and implementing a furniture bank for the whole city. Folks come to work, and we provide, coffee and water, and we have a nice break room that folks can, if they need to get here early to have some breakfast, they can do that.
The reason why I come in at 8:30 so the guys can come in, they can make coffee, eat breakfast, and by that time it's like 9 o'clock when they're supposed to report on the floor for work.
It's all logistics, right? We get our schedules together.
Then we have a meeting over here every morning, do a welfare check.
So we have to make sure our orders are all scheduled and placed on the truck in the right way.
Load the trucks, make sure they load up, make sure the vehicles is like up to par as far as safety and everything, as far as equipment.
We furnish between 20 and 30 households a week, and we can't match household to household. So the institutional and commercial donations are a huge help to keep our inventory strong to meet our demand.
We pick up various furniture from different clients, as far as New Jersey, of course Villanova area, East Fall area. So there's nowhere that we don't go.
We get furniture by hook and by crook. And we have standards that any thrift store would have. We go house to house. People organize furniture drives, and we approach businesses, institutions like colleges, universities, and hotels, restaurants. So we really try hard to develop relationships with especially institutions and businesses so that we can have a constant flow of furniture.
Keeping an open communication with the donators and the clients who will be delivering is very, very important. That way we don't waste time, fuel, manpower, and energy.
So at the beginning of the day, there's kind of a lot of scurrying around to get the trucks out. The sooner they get out, the sooner they can get back. And then we prepare the showroom so that folks can walk through the showroom and have an orderly and good experience where the furniture is able to be seen and in good condition. The aisles are clear, and then we wait for the appointments. We work off a model that most furniture banks in the country use, and that's a member agency model. So agencies who work with people who are homeless and get them housing become members of the furniture bank, and then they can make unlimited referrals for folks to get furniture. We have a wonderful online system. Agencies get links where they can make referrals. They make referrals, they schedule their appointment, and they come here with their case managers to choose their own furniture.
The clients will come in, they'll go through this reception, on the introduction, and once that's done, the paperwork established, they'll come in and they'll start in this section right here and pick out their beds. if it's required, and then the staff will walk them through to pick out their furniture.
That's another empowering piece where folks are able to have some choice.
We use a tape, color code tape, to determine what order goes with what, and then once that's done, we'll bring them back in there so you can pick out dishes if they want a little pop-up shop area, ACs, there's been TVs, there's been hair dryers, there's been scented candles, and it's just a list of things that varies and varies and varies and varies that we get.
All the upholstered furniture is inspected, and we have a 20 by 20 foot hot box where we cook our furniture to prevent any kind of infestation that might be there.
It goes up to a certain temperature and degrees and stuff like that. I mean, if you actually go on a hot box as full blast, you'll be running out of there.
Anything that needs to be repaired, we put into our furniture repair shop for small repairs. And we inspect, we put it out onto the showroom floor, or we put it in inventory. And a key part of that is our workforce development staff. We have 10 to 12 folks who haven't been in the workforce for a while, who are looking to get back into the workforce, work on some soft skills like being on time, working as a team, dealing with the public, and we wouldn't be able to do this work without them.
They're not closed-minded as far as helping everyone. Nobody is disincluded.
It doesn't make sense for us to provide home, make a house a home for people unless people can feel at home here. We love volunteers, various kinds. There's various jobs to do here. There's always moving furniture, but there's also folks who come and they are able to be personal shoppers. So we train them to greet the case manager and the client when they arrive, to conduct the initial appointment, just trying to get a sense of what the furniture needs are, and to actually take folks around the furniture bank to choose their furniture. And that's when you really get to see folks who were homeless begin to imagine their space. It's just the right thing to do. It's right by the people, it's right by the agencies, and it's right by the environment.
They're so ecstatic to receive the furniture and stuff, and it's just been a blessing to share that moment. This was a client, Women Against Abuse, young lady, and when we got there, her order was big, it filled up the whole truck. And we was like taking the furniture into the bedroom, and clothes all over the floor and stuff. And this little girl, she like 5 years old, "This is mine!" We put the bed together. She started jumping up and down the bed, and she don't have to share it with nobody. That's her personal space. This is her dresser. This is her chair. And immediately she started putting her clothes in the dresser before we even finished setting up her bedroom. And when you're dealing with something like that, you can't help but to get emotional. I'm like, it's a sense of achievement and accomplishment for that day.
It's the just use of resources. It's the just way to treat people. And no matter how hard it is, or no matter how much we sweat to get furniture in and out of places, that's the piece of it that makes the most sense. That it's just the right thing to do.
What amazing work everyone at the Philadelphia Furniture Bank, working alongside Tom and George, get to do every day. I'm grateful to know that this resource exists and that folks who are in need have access to the items that will turn a house into a home. The Philadelphia Furniture Bank is just one program run by Pathways to Housing PA that supports people experiencing homelessness here in Philadelphia. It's my pleasure to introduce Christine Cimariglia, the president and CEO at Pathways to Housing PA, to talk more about the other supports that Pathways provides to the community and the impact of those programs.
Hi, I'm Krista Mariglia, and I have the privilege of serving as the CEO of Pathways to Housing PA. the host organization for the Furniture Bank. So Pathways to Housing was invited to Philadelphia by the city in 2008 to serve a very specific population, people who were long-term chronically homeless, suffered with mental health disabilities, drug addiction, medical frailty, disability piled on disability. And our Housing First model is really simple. We move people directly from the streets into an apartment without precondition. So people don't have to decide to be clean and sober in order for us to work with them. They don't have to decide to see a psychiatrist in order for us to work with them. They just come into an apartment of their choosing, and then we wrap services around them in the community. When people come into the Housing First program, they're assigned to a team, and the team is a multidisciplinary team of clinicians that work with them. There's a couple of master's level social workers that run the team, and then there are bachelor's level case managers that work with people, and they're all connected to different disciplines. So there's a forensic specialist, there's a specialist who works with the aging, there's a drug and alcohol specialist, there is a peer specialist, and then there's an admin person that helps coordinate the team. So every team member knows every person that the team serves. So you're never not being seen, right? Whenever you come in, there is somebody who can work with you. There's somebody who knows your story. There's somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes to keep you housed. So as we were working with people in the early years, one of the things we really realized was that these were people that were not getting medical attention. They floated in and out of emergency rooms, but never actually got their specific needs addressed. So we started doing some primary care services, and that grew into a partnership with a federally qualified health center. So now we have primary care services 5 days a week in a clinic in our office. That is integrated with the psychiatric services that we provide. And as we started to work with people with opioid use disorder and other substance use disorders, we started to do treatment. So we're also doing treatment for opioid use disorder as part of the integrated team. One of the things that we're learning more and more as people are in their housing and getting better is that they need something that is next, right? We all are future thinking. And people that have been on the streets for a long period of time haven't been future thinking. And as they settle in and progress in their life and start to achieve some of their life goals, the question comes up, what next? And that's not something we've ever really focused on answering. Because people weren't there, and now they are. So community inclusion is a department of people who specifically work on the what next. They work on helping people go back to school, expand their education, get training. We have a lot of folks who've gone through a welding program, which is kind of cool to get people into the trades. We help with employment. We have an employment program actually at the Furniture Bank, which is also part of that. And then there's just engagement. Getting people out into the community. We have a restaurant club. We do different groups. We have an alumni association as people are getting better and no longer need the level of services that we provide. They're graduating out. And that all fits within that bubble of community inclusion. We started the Work First program at the Furniture Bank to address the needs of folks who weren't getting into traditional competitive employment for a lot of reasons. Some people who are new to recovery have trouble with drug tests to get into a lot of employment. And we don't test here. Or people are still struggling with some mental health issues, or learning to get along with other people in the work environment. And in competitive employment, that's just not tolerated. So part of what we do is skill building, but also part of what we do are the basics. Like being to work on time, getting up at an hour so that you can do that, getting along with the people you work with, how to address concerns and talk to your supervisor. And then we help people graduate into competitive employment in the real world. So Larry came to Pathways about a year ago at the beginning of the pandemic, and he's now working in our Work First program here at the Philadelphia Furniture Bank.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right now, y'all in my front room, you know what I mean? Home from work, whatever you want to call it. I've been homeless for a minute, and it wasn't by choice. It's lack of finding work and trying to, you know what I mean? Then when they do give you work, it's only for like 1 or 2 days, and I'm not. Then you work 2 days here, then they don't need you for 1 day next week, and I couldn't deal with that, you know what I mean? And it's either that or try to go back out on the street and, you know what I mean, do stuff that you don't want to do, but I left that lifestyle alone. That's what got me in trouble last time, so I just went cold turkey and just did what I had to do. On the street, you know what I mean, I stayed in the subway, the tents, man, anywhere to get out the elements, you know, even if you gotta stay under the subway and take turns taking naps, you know what I mean, did it all, you know? You gotta go out there and go get it, you know what I mean? You never coming to you sitting on your behind, man. And I was always taught like that since I was little, so I kept that in my head. That's why I really not like to ask people for nothing. You got kids, you constantly need stuff, and you don't get them none, you feel like, damn, I ain't doing my shit. I feel less than a man or something. You know? I couldn't do it by myself. They want this from you, that from you, this, you know what I mean? And I just needed work, you know what I mean? So I can keep some constant paycheck in my pocket. This is my bedroom, kitchen, stove, refrigerator, you know what I mean? This is from the furniture. Pretty much everything you see in here from the furniture bank. Before I got, you know what I mean, started working here, they already put me in a place. And I was looking for a job at the same time, so they pretty much helped me. I just gotta, you know what I mean, find something, you know what I mean, so I can get my kids some money, you know what I mean? So, like I said, everything came into play, and they helped me out, and I'm here, you know what I mean?
So we have an employment coordinator through our community inclusion department that works with Larry's team and Larry. It's the three pieces that are actually helping Larry to move forward. The employment coordinator checks in specifically around his employment needs, and then coordinates that with his service team.
We get furniture, like couches, put it in a hot box so it kill all the bugs or whatever is inside of it. You know what I mean? We take it out, wrap it up, and then put it away, and let people just come and pick whatever they want, and then after we go get it and just load it up on the truck. I don't mind helping nobody, you know what I mean? Because I've been there, you know what I mean? I know what they went through, you know what I mean? Because I went through the same thing, so, you know what I mean? You got to crawl before you walk, so, you know what I mean? I'm trying to go back to school, you know what I mean? Take like a computer course, get married, become a homeowner, and try to, you know what I mean, open up my own business or something. Like I said, I'm grateful, you know what I mean? A new beginning, new story, so, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take advantage of it.
We cannot do the work we do without the support of our community. Our board, staff, and supporters are integral to ensuring that we can carry out our mission to provide homes, restore health, and reclaim lives. We especially want to thank the sponsors of today's event for their generosity, including the Scheller Family Foundation, Odin Properties, Rivers Casino, PNC Bank, Exude, Keystone First, and other organizations who graciously sponsored us this year and continue to support our work year after year. With your support, we were able to house more than 100 people last year, provide comprehensive wraparound services to more than 550 formerly homeless individuals, furnish nearly 1,000 homes for 1,800 adults and children last year. If you've not already made a donation today, you can do so by clicking the link in the chat box. Thank you again for making today's event such a success. We're already more than halfway to our goal of raising $50,000. And don't forget to bid before the auction closes at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. When we return in April 2022, you'll find us under a new name, Furnished for Good. Our event has evolved from a small gathering with a few artists to a large auction and exhibit with more than 20 pieces and 18 participating artists who help create not just chairs, but all sorts of furniture and decorative items that help turn a house into a home. By supporting us, you're not only furnishing your own home for a good cause, you're helping to furnish the homes of those who have experienced homelessness. I hope to see you all again in April 2022 at the inaugural Furnished for Good event and auction.
The final piece of our program today will introduce you to Roberto, a Pathways to Housing PA participant who recently moved into his new home and received furniture from the Philadelphia Furniture Bank. Roberto is one of nearly 1,000 households furnished in the last year, despite the ongoing pandemic. And the resiliency he and the others that participate in Pathways to Housing PA programs is truly an inspiration.
My name is Roberto Cruz, and we are at my apartment through Pathways to Housing. I grew up in Puerto Rico, actually. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Until the age of like 15, and we moved over here. My father for a better life, I suppose, and I've been here ever since. And I've been here over 30 years now in Philly. I was homeless and like living basically under a bridge, and some people came and they offered me some help, and basically I took the offer and they took me to a program, and that's how I ended up getting the help through Pathways. They would help me with drug addiction, housing, anything that I would need help with. All this stuff is like what I got from the furniture place on Pathways. I got this cabinet, they gave me this couch, the art, give me this stuff right here, these tables. Then this is the room. They gave me this bed right here. They gave me that TV right here. Gave me this, these chairs. They called me and they said that they had a unit for me, and so and then they brought me so I could see it if I wanted it, and of course I took it, and I've been here ever since, like a month and a half now. You know, when you're homeless and they give you a place to stay, man, that's like saving your life, but you don't have to be in the cold no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a blessing, definitely. Now I feel great, like I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Like I feel secure now, like I can accomplish things now, you know what I'm saying?
So Roberto came to Pathways several months ago. He is fairly new to our program, and he interacts with the team probably on a weekly basis.
They come here every week, check on me, see if I need anything. They help me out with, they give me any food, they help me with food, clothes, take me to the doctor if I need to. They always like helping you out. They don't, it's like a Pathways is great.
A lot of the magic that happens in people's lives, that thing that clicks where people want to get better and move forward, happens with those human interactions, happens with those visits.
They're taking people from a real bad place, and when they get people out there, they get even killed. They get killed, and giving them a safe place to stay. So that's like they're saving lives for sure. Thank you. Thank you, Team 7. You guys are the greatest. Miss Rosa, Miss Alicia, Emily, thank you all.
Wow, what powerful stories both Larry and Roberto shared with us today. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to help the Philadelphia Furniture Bank continue to make a difference in our community. If you have not already done so, please visit the silent auction to see the beautiful pieces created by this year's artist. Bidding closes at 8 p.m. this evening, and each item includes photos and measurements to help you envision the piece in your home. There are also several other items and experiences available, so be sure to check it out. If you prefer to make a direct donation to help reach the goal of raising $50,000 today, you can click the link in the chat box to donate. Every donation, no matter how big or small, will go directly towards the Philadelphia Furniture Bank. We can make more impact together than we can alone, so I hope you will join our sponsors and other donors in supporting the Chair Affair today. Thank you all for taking the time to attend today's event. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the great work being done by the Philadelphia Furniture Bank. Enjoy the rest of your day.